Introducing Oakley Meta Vanguard, the new performance AI glasses designed for athletes. With hands-free capture on an action-ready ultra-wide camera, powerful open-ear speakers, and built-in Meta AI that syncs with your Garmin devices for real-time insights while you train. Take your performance to the next level with Oakley Meta Vanguard. Athletic intelligence is here. Learn more on meta.com.
Gold Bond knows that every glow-up starts with radiant skin. So choose Gold Bond Cocoa Butter Glow for a body lotion that's clinically shown to give you smooth, glowing skin. But don't just take our word for it. 88% of people who tried Gold Bond Cocoa Butter Glow saw glowing skin in just 1 day. Gold Bond Cocoa Butter Glow. Nourish your skin. Reveal your glow. Buy now on Amazon.
This episode is brought to you by Casamigos Tequila. What do you bring to a holiday party? Simple. A bottle of Casamigos. Because nothing gets the party started like a Casamigos margarita, which isn't just for summer. In fact, it's the perfect pour all year round. Casamigos is the gift that always feels right, because anything goes with my Casamigos. Please drink responsibly. Imported by Casamigos Spirits Company, White Plains, New York. Casamigos Tequila, 40% alcohol by volume.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Achtung Millwall, the #1 Millwall podcast, broadcasting from the beautiful South Bermondsey. So without further ado, here's Nick.
Good morning, dear listeners. Welcome to Monday with Merv, and a big thank you to Merv for joining me a little bit earlier than normal. How are you, Merv?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, all the better for Saturday's performance and result.
We were just saying it was an absolute classic of a game. Probably the best Millwall home performance that I can think of in a long while. I mean, obviously, you and I go back a long way, Merv, but
Yeah.
I was trying to think of games as an equivalent in terms of to and fro. And I mean, one that came immediately to mind was the late winner with Matt Smith against Charlton a few years ago, 2-1. Otherwise, I'm going back to the Leeds game away, 4-3. But, you know, it was certainly up there in terms of dramatic finishes and a game that swung from one end to the other.
Yeah.
I have some sad news for listeners, and that is that Merv missed it.
Yeah, I know. I was on family duty. Yeah, it's always the way.
Oh,
yeah, I was on family duty, so I was stuck in a car.
You followed it on X.
Yeah, and stuck in my car, and literally just as I left, Southampton scored the penalty. Having heard that we were all over them, basically, or certainly dominating the game.
Yeah.
And when they said, "Oh, there's a penalty at the Den," I knew exactly who it was going to be. And then I just basically switched the telly off in a strop, jumped in the car to go and pick my granddaughter up, and flicked 5 live. And when I arrived there, because I thought the game was over, and found out we were 2-1 up. And then of course, Southampton equalised again, and that.
You turned it off again, didn't you?
Yeah, sent me mood plummeting again. Totally wound the wife up because I was in a foul mood, and then just happened to flick it on again halfway home, and heard the Kramer goal, which at like 5-5, which is crazy.
Yeah, madness.
When by 5-5 you'd be on the train on the way home, but now the matches are still being played. It's bonkers.
Well, 7 minutes of added time, which seemed like a lot. I suppose every time that modern
Still
football,
the subs, isn't it? Really, yeah.
Subs, and every time anyone scores a goal, is about a minute to get everyone back in line.
For Alex Neil to get back in the dugout. Yeah.
That's one thing that always strikes me when you look at the old nostalgic old footage from the 70s and so on. How quickly you score a goal and everyone's back ready to go within seconds.
Back at the other end and centre off and go again. Yeah.
But anyway, there we are. I mean, there was 18,000. It was a sellout crowd on Saturday, Merv. So, for those of us that were in the ground, it was by far one of the most dramatic games in a long while. I'm not going to say any more than that because it's hard to set one game against another. But I think your experience of following it via X or Sky Sports News must have been matched by many, many more Millwall fans around the world following it.
It's not the best way of following it, but I mean, for me, it totally sums up Millwall, doesn't it? I mean, we've come up against a team who were one of the form teams in the division.
£60 million worth of talent there.
Straight down from the Premier League, 4 wins from the last 4, scored 13 goals.
Yeah.
Put 5 past Charlton in the first half away last week, and I had serious concerns about this mainly because of our a growing injury list, and I thought, I mean, we've been scrutinised quite a bit for our playoff credentials in the last few weeks. We've had like West Brom have come down there who were in a good position, Stoke who were up there, and we've seen them all off quite comfortably. But I thought this might be a slightly different challenge. And I mean, just to say we rose to it is an understatement, isn't it? I mean, it's just brilliant. I mean, and the irony being, again, so typically Millwall is the only games we've really not looked good in is when we played relegation-threatened teams like Oxford and Pompey and Sheffield Wednesday. But that is
we struggled against Wednesday midweek.
It sums us up, doesn't it? I said we didn't look like we had anyone other than Femi Aziz that could take the game by the scruff of the neck or influence the game, and then suddenly on Saturday we seem to have them all over the pitch. Especially in defence.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't call it a makeshift 11, but certainly the squad is injury hit, listeners. I don't think there's any secret there. So,
well, yeah, we're lucky it's so big, aren't we now? Because the squad is big on quality, isn't it? So we're lucky we can.
With the injuries though, I mean, a lot of them not available. I mean, obviously Saturday we had Crocombe in goal, back four: Kramer, Taylor, hero of the hour, Jake Cooper, Danny Mack playing out of position, Merv in left back. Well, Kramer's playing out of position for that matter.
In theory,
he excels in the right back position. We'll come back to that.
Right back, doesn't he?
Yeah. We'll come back to that. That good question posed to us on X by Long Player. In front of them, I mean, making his starting debut, Danny Kelly, I thought was excellent.
I really, I have to say, before Saturday, all I'd seen of Danny Kelly was some sort of like late cameo sub appearances. But even in those short spells, there's something about him that looks really impressive. He looks really.
I was really impressed.
Yeah,
really impressed.
A real grafter. I mean, I think like a younger version of that of Massimo Ilongo. He gets the ugly stuff done, gets the job done.
And he's not afraid to have a shot, Merv. He had a go. He had a go in the first half. The goalkeeper got down well for it, but he's got no fear in him. I really like the look of the boy.
I do. I
really like.
Real prospect. I think a lot of us are scratching our heads while we spent so much money to sort of get him 6 months early from Celtic. But I think it's obvious to see now because I think he's really starting to develop, and I think he really could be another star of the future. Definitely, I'm really impressed with Kelly. Definitely.
Well, he certainly showed it Saturday against, as you say, high-powered opponents. I mean, I know that the league table, they're more mid-table, but that's after a poor start. But they certainly were an expensively assembled side. Just going back to the starting 11, Casper Denor, who always gives, a quality performance. And then, I've called it a makeshift starting 11 with, I suppose, Idemo Marku would have been not a first choice pick, Merv, at the start of the season. An impact sub as he's been seen. But I have to say it was one of his best, if not his best performance. He looked dangerous. I really like Idemo. And he gives you 100% every time. And he had their fullback on toast on Saturday. I thought he was really strongest performance.
Yeah, I think he's another one who plays. The whole team seems to be lifted by Femi Aziz at the moment. But I think with Idemo, I think if he's the sole source of the attack, which is what he seems to be when Aziz isn't in, that's when he seems to perhaps. He's feeling the pressure.
Well, it's like the weight of responsibility on him.
Whereas he's expected to do as much, or he's perhaps off the radar a bit more when Aziz is playing. And because I think it was very similar when he played alongside Romain Esse. Because of Romain Esse's reputation, all eyes were on. And Emakhu always looked very good playing with Esse. Or maybe it's just the formation, because obviously we had Ray Spengler-Williams back in the team. So we had more options for attacking rather than all going through Emakhu.
I think you're right. I mean, I think Idemo does respond well when he's got good quality players around him. I really like Reis. I mean, I think everyone that you speak to is a fan. And what I really like it was a quietish game for him on Saturday. We have to be honest. But what he does, Merv, is he plays with no fear. He has that Romain Esse quality that he'll take a chance. He'll do a little move. Other players hide slightly. He doesn't.
Yeah. And that was probably a better way of explaining my point last week about Aziz being the only one with sort of top championship quality. It was probably a bad way of describing it. I think it is the fear thing. Esse was like that. He wasn't afraid to try anything. It didn't always come off. And I think we saw that with. I think I feel without Aziz, some players when we're attacking don't look like they think it's going to work, or they're not sure. They look hesitant and they look nervy. Whereas
They don't lack that
you
self-belief.
saw
Yeah,
Aziz, you knew exactly what he wanted to do before he even laid that ball off. He knew he was going to have a shot and he was going to score, and
yeah.
he finished it with such confidence. And I think that just spread throughout the whole team.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I also want to give a shout out to Mihailo up front. He wasn't scoring Saturday, but he
Yeah.
did plenty of work.
Yeah,
And
he's a grafter, isn't he? Yeah.
I'm going to whisper it, listeners. I think he's improving. I think he's coming on. I think the coaching is working with him. He's looking stronger, Merv, up front, physically. You know, he's going up against some lumps in the championships and hardened defenders, and you know, you're starting to see something from the boy.
Yeah.
So well played, the whole 11. I also want to give a little mention. Obviously, a lot of substitutions. We saw Turno Ballo come in. I want to give a shout out to Macaulay Langstaff because it was his work on the left side that produced with Turno, who got a quality crossing, but it was Macaulay's persistence and never say die. Work down the left that produced the winning goal for Kramer in real time. I couldn't have told you who got it, whether it was an own goal. I didn't know. It was just mayhem in the ground. But, you know, I won't be surprised, Merv, if Macaulay is, you know, a January transfer movement. I would think he'd probably want to get back regular football.
Yeah.
And he's proven himself in Leagues 2, and he might prove himself in League 1. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's a good League 1. I think he would get goals in League 1. I think there's quite a few teams who are perhaps not scoring as many goals as they would have liked, and would perhaps be interested in picking him up.
But a very honest boy. I mean, I think he'll leave with good feelings towards him.
The thing is, the modern game is so different now. I mean, it's not like the days of just out-and-out strikers, but because he scored so many goals at Notts County, he felt like he had to come in and score goals to prove or to be a valuable player. But it's not always the case. Like you say with Mihailo, it's what they do when they're not scoring. If they stood with their hands on their hips moaning, then they're no good. But if they're still causing defensive problems, and like I say, helping in the build-up to goals, then it helps people like Kramer and Aziz to get their goals. So if we're spreading the goals around the team, no one really cares. As long as we're winning and scoring, and then it's fine.
The scenes, as they call it in modern football, the limbs and the scenes, when we scored the winner, was actually it was the world-class goal from Caleb Taylor that got Alex Neil booked for joining in the celebrations. I mean, I was thinking about this, and I often bore my wife when she's trying to watch Strictly Come Dancing, Merv, with my thoughts on managers joining in celebrations. You know, obviously we see a lot with the performative stuff at Charlton with Nathan Jones giving it kind of the Icelandic clap and all this kind of nonsense. You know, at Millwall, I don't think you want to see it too often, but you do love to see it in the right moment. It's a judgment call, but you know, he got booked on Saturday for joining in it, but I think everyone will go with him for that because it was just such an exhilarating moment.
Oh, it was. I mean, obviously, I've only seen the highlights of it, but But yeah, I mean, I noticed he said in the interview afterwards, he said that's the first time he celebrated like that. Now, this is a manager who's managed over 500 games.
Been round the tracks.
Yeah, he's got teams promoted to the Premier League. He's won playoff finals at Wembley. And for him to do that, you know, I think if anyone doubts his commitment to Millwall anymore, I mean, what I loved as well on the TV footage was as he was running back to the dugout and the fans' reaction towards him as well. But I'm thinking, because last week I mentioned, and if this is what it takes to bring this out of players, and I'll slag them off every week. But last week I mentioned that I was a bit disappointed with Taylor because I felt like he looked a bit hesitant, and he didn't. Alex Neil himself said that he prefers Kramer over Taylor because he's more mobile. And you sort of think, oh, doesn't sound great. But I'm just wondering if perhaps he's just had a little bit of a wobble or a bit of a tough time settling in, and maybe that's particularly why Alex Neil was so obviously chuffed for him to get that goal as he did, because it was, when I heard that Taylor had scored, I just assumed it was like a poke in from the 6-yard box or a header. But when I saw the goal, I was trying to think of great goals by Millwall centre-backs, and I didn't spend much time on it, to be honest, but I couldn't think of many.
Well, I'm going back to Colin Cooper and strikes of that era. I can't think of many. I can't think of many centre backs that really had a decisive. I mean, I think Sean Dyche could hit a ball back in. But he didn't do it very often. But I'm going back to Colin Cooper because I think that's about the only other. Well, he played right back centre.
Yeah, back. I think Coops was he was sort of left back by trade and converted to centre back, wasn't he? Oh, I actually jotted some down. I remember obviously Cooper at Sheffield United with the late winner back in 2021. That was a long range
Yeah,
effort. That was pretty good.
yeah, yeah,
Obviously,
yeah.
Shane Lowry's famous free kick at Charlton,
The one at Charlton, yes,
2013. But
yeah.
but other than that, I have to go back to, and this is one for the old heads listening. I have to go back to Alan McCleary at home to Newcastle, 1988. I don't know if you remember
Oh,
that.
you are going back there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we won 4-1, and McCleary was on the edge of the area. I think a corner was half cleared, and he sort of pivoted and volleyed it into the roof of the net.
Yeah,
And
he caught it on the volley.
yeah,
That's right.
it was a stunning goal, and I think even he was shocked. And I remember
I
Teddy
was
Sheringham,
shocked he had a shot, Merv.
when the players ran up to congratulate him. I can see it now. Teddy Sheringham literally threw his head back in like glee, and he couldn't believe he'd done that, you know. And
No,
but other than that, I can't think of any other Millwall centre halves getting
No.
spectacular long range effort. You expect them to get headers, and I'm thinking Ruddock's header in the last minute to equalise against Forest. But end of the day, they're a centre back. You expect them to be good at heading. But yeah, I mean, but that has to top all of those.
world class. I mean, top
stunning.
right hand corner, where you know where you're trained to shoot. If you're learning the game, you put it in the top right hand corner. Goalkeeper had no
Unbelievable.
chance.
Yeah.
Beautiful strike, and it wouldn't be Millwall though, Merv, if we couldn't follow a world class winner with a sloppy kind of equaliser.
Yeah.
Which was just poor defending. I think it was a left sided free kick, I think, wasn't it? And they got a header on target, and the Crocombe, I thought, did quite well.
Did well to get, but
the man was too quick.
Yeah, we were too slow on the rebound again. Yeah.
I did read a little article in the news at Den about some of the distance shots. This wasn't distance. This was inside the 6-yard box, obviously, listeners. But one of the criticisms of the defence this season has been just not closing down players in dangerous positions fast enough. There's a fraction of a second off there.
Yeah. And
that was the goal. And I must admit, inside the ground, it was a real a buzzkill, I think is what the kids say. They might not have said that for some years now, but anyway, that's the word that springs to my mind. And I thought, well, 2 each. We've still done very, very well against an expensive side, but of course we were building to the denouement, the crescendo, the theatrical finish that we got with that Kramer goal. Wonderful game. High entertainment. It leaves us in third place, Merv.
Yeah, I was just looking. I was curious as to where we've been at this stage in recent seasons. I'm discounting the one where we almost went down, obviously.
Yeah.
23-24. Last season, after 18 games, we had 25 points and were 10th. So 6 behind. 22-23, we had the same amount of points. We had 31 points, but we're only 9th. And then 21-22, we had 26 points and we're 10th. So, I think that indicates how open the division is this season. We've not got as many strong teams in the top 6. But even so, I mean, to be third on 31 points, and we've played a lot of tough teams. We've played a lot of the teams in and around us. We've had the usual injury crisis. And what we were saying before about how we seem to struggle against the struggling teams, but turn up against the teams around us. If that continues, then the likes of, we've got Bristol City, Hull, Derby to come. Then hopefully we shouldn't have too much to fear.
Isn't that Millwall ever since you and I started going, Merv?
It was one of the first things my dad taught me about following Millwall. He said they'll always struggle against the crap teams, and beat them, and raise it. Yeah, and win when you don't expect them to.
It's the eternal underdog syndrome, listeners.
I think it is. I think they prefer to be the underdog.
We're at our best as an underdog. No use at all with the favoured opponents. There we are. We've got one question before I let you go, Merv. I just want to thank you to longest player on X. He's asking here, can I make a comment and pose a question for your next show, Nick? So Merv and I is my next show. Kramer shouldn't play as our central defender, he says. If we can sign a good right back, Kramer would make a good box-to-box midfielder of epic proportions. A midfielder, he says. A great ball winner, great going forward, and a V12 engine that never stops running. And for kids, V12 engines featured in the great motor cars like Aston Martin. I've seen Ferrari mention the V12. Interesting idea as a midfielder. I don't know if I don't know enough about Tristan's back career. I mean, he's clearly come to us as a central defender and was player of the season at Exeter, I think, having come out of French football.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's played in other positions, Merv. He looks so good at right back. And, LP's comment there about midfield is an interesting one because you could see him. He looks like a Ryan Leonard type figure in that he can play him pretty much anywhere, and it will look the part.
Yeah, I definitely think. I do feel that my conclusion is over the last few weeks that he's wasted at centre back. To be honest, especially when we've got Taylor, which I was like, I felt he's having a slow start, but. I mean, that will do wonders for his confidence, and if he continues to improve and forge like a really good relationship with Cooper, then it seems to me a no-brainer for me to at least consider Kramer as a right back and possibly a right wing back.
Push him forwards in some way. Yeah,
gives us so many options, and it's not a great comparison because he's not the most popular of men in the game, but he's sort of a Gary Neville sort of player who is a good defender. But he'll get forward and he'll get good cross. I mean, the quality of his crossing is unreal. Yeah. I mean,
and the vision, the kind of 1-2s he was playing on the wing there to get into space. And
he certainly It's a great point by longest player because he has that attacking mindset and that attacking footballing brain, and that is definitely wasted as a centre back. I think because you've got too much sort of donkey work to do, so to speak. That's probably not the best choice of word, but you've got to be too focused on just keeping the other team out, and you don't get many options to attack unless we go with this overlapping centre backs thing, which I'm not au fait with anyway. But
no.
I mean, to just be centre backs and just keep heading the ball out or score a few goals. But yeah, I'm sure it's something Alex Neil's considering, especially in the light of all the injuries. I mean, I think we saw this back in the 87-88 promotion season when Hurlock was injured and convert. I know it's a different game back then, but Doherty, and it's not quite the same transition. But even so, Doherty converted Keith Stevens from right back to centre.
He went into mid. I was trying to think of defenders who made it in midfield.
And he did. And again, that was more of a work job. But he still did a great job there. I mean, I remember thinking that perhaps we were done for without Hurlock for a few games, and Stevens got us through a really good run.
He stepped up.
Yeah, and of course we mentioned Colin Cooper before, and again that's converting the other way from full-back. But yeah, I mean I don't think players' positions, especially in this day and age, are set in stone. And I'm sure Neil was considering his attacking options with Kramer because I mean I think back to his cross for Negley's goal at Norwich on the opening day of the season as well. I mean he looks for all the world like he knows exactly what he's doing when he goes.
Very intelligent player, great leadership. Along with Aziz, I think our two Premier League level players. No disrespect to some of the others. I think.
They're not far behind, and they're all developing. I mean, like I say,
developing towards that.
We've said before, Premier Aziz has arrived at this stage in like 12 months, and he's come on from a League One player to a top Championship player, and there's no reason why the likes of Ballo and Derek and all the others won't get there.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. I'll stick that question as a clickbait style poll on the Spotify link, dear listeners. You let me know. What do you think's the longest player suggestion of moving Kramer into a box-to-box midfield role? And we'll see whether Alex Neil agrees. If he might vote, I don't know. Merv, I want to say a big thank you, mate, for coming on the show. Very short notice, and out of our normal routine. It's great to talk to you. Stay tuned, dear listeners. We've got a whole heap of voicemails for you after these messages. Stay tuned.
In Walmart's Who Newville, joy started to grow. For online-only savings sure to steal the show. Tech treats and toys so dazzling and new. Walmart Cyber Monday deal soon ready for you. It's online only with very little time to spare. December 1st will soon be here, so be sure to be there. The Who's are prepared. Are you ready too? A day packed with savings. Amazing! Who knew? Subject to availability, terms and fees apply.
Experience a membership that backs what you're building with American Express Business Platinum. Get 2 times membership rewards points per dollar on eligible purchases in key business categories, as well as on each eligible purchase of $5,000 or more, on up to $2 million in eligible purchases per calendar year. American Express Business Platinum. There's nothing like it. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum.
Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan are back in Disney's Freakier Friday, now streaming on Disney+.
We switched bodies.
I am freaking out right now. I think I just peed a little.
It's an absolute riot. And the only movie that can be described as
so much weirder than the last time. What last time?
It's the frequel.
You ready?
We've been waiting for.
That absolutely slays.
Disney's Freakier Friday, now streaming on Disney+, rated PG.
You're listening to Achtung Millwall.
Huge thank you to Merv for joining me a little bit out of our normal routine, listeners. Normally we do our calls on Monday evening. Merv has very kindly joined me Monday morning because I'm a little bit pressed for time today, dear listeners. But I wanted to get the huge number of voicemails in on the show, so we're going to go straight over to the voicemails very shortly. But before I do, just wanted to give a big shout out to Will Mill UK on X, who's produced a fantastic meme of the Trojan horse entering the ancient Greek city of Troy. The Trojan horse is labelled Millwall FC, and Premier League fans are welcoming in the gift with open arms. And Will's caption says, "Look at Millwall hanging around the gates of the Premier League in a giant wooden horse, whilst friendly fans beck us on in." Great imaginative meme there, Will Mill. Mwahaha, says Daft Alcoholic Joe. Venom mentions Idemo Marku's performance in that wonderful game on Saturday afternoon. One of only two players that's been available for every game. Fitness, yes, that's right, Venom. He had their right back on the back foot all day. I thought he had him on toast, to be quite honest with you, dear listeners. I thought he did a really good performance, Idemo, on Saturday. Danny Baker, remember him? He's a Millwall fan. He says Southampton came to South East London thinking we'd be a pushover like Charlton, and they found out Millwall are not Charlton. Well, thank God we're not, dear listeners, and thank God we're not Danny. It goes on, he says, we bossed, we bullied, and we got the result. And I think that's the big thing for me. It was an old school Den occasion. The crowd were rip-roaring, and the players got stuck in, and they didn't give it up right to the very, very last kick of the game with Tristan Kramer's late goal. So that, for me, was reminiscent of the olden days, dear listeners, and that's what we go to watch Millwall for. Saint Matt, Southampton fan, he says he thought the atmosphere was good today when Millwall scored their second and third. It was deafening, one of the loudest I've ever heard. That's right. It was an incredible atmosphere, and great to see Alex Neil running down the line for the Caleb Taylor goal. I couldn't think of his name for a second there, listeners. I've been so scrambled up this morning. Caleb running down the line for the Caleb Taylor goal. Magnificent stuff. Dolb says Ryan Manning, Southampton manager, was giving it large when it was 2 each. Have that, you silly little tramp, says Dolbs. I'm with you. I endorse that emotion, Dolbs. I like that. And finally, one last one from one of my favourite posters, lovely geezer 65, Bermondsey boy. He says the only thing on his bucket list is to get these players, these Millwall fans, into the Premier League before I die. I'll take one season of mayhem and chaos, upsetting the football establishment. Wonderful stuff, dear listeners. Now we're going to go straight into the voicemails. I don't have enough time to do proper responses. Big thank you to everyone that sent me stuff for this show, dear listeners. We'll be back with more normal service next weekend. Until then, dear listeners, from me, Nick Hart, Arrivederci Millwall. Bye for now.
Hello? Nick, Aussie Dave here, ringing in from Cloud9. What a game yesterday. In Buddhism, they aim for a perfect state of enlightenment, in other words, nirvana. Well, I think us Wall supporters got that yesterday. Unbelievable. And I really had real tears of joy after the end of the game. This is what it's all about. I could feel the passion from 9,000 miles away. I am in heaven. Two areas I just want to pick on. The first one is Alex Neil's tactics. I've complained recently with phone-ins where I've been a bit critical, for example, playing 5 at the back at Portsmouth. But today, he got the tactics spot on. He got the pressing perfectly set up, and that basically gets rid of Southampton's main way to start movement. And the other one was towards the end, he got subs on, and it was very aggressive to try and win the game. We probably all thought 90 minutes, let's hold on to what we got and go for a draw. But no, he went for it. So well done, Alex Neil. And also, I thought he got the defensive setup perfect. We've been letting goals in from the edge of the area, but yesterday they didn't have the space or the time to really do meaningful shots. So I don't know what he did, but he set it up perfectly. The second area I want to come on to is the players. All of them gave 110%. You could see the passion. Probably RBW is the only one who didn't quite gel, but, it's his first full game for ages. I'm still optimistic about him. Man of the match, for me, Kramer. Unbelievable. Really, I think right back is probably his best position for us. And a close second was Denore, who put in a shift. And he was everywhere, tackling great, back to his best. A couple of other players I want to pick on. Kelly, wasn't he good? We never knew what he could do, but I thought, yes, he was moving around. He was full of energy, and his passing was good, and he nearly scored a goal. So the other player I want to pick on is Imaku. I've never been his greatest fan, but that was his best game for us. And it's good of Alex Neil to persist with him. I suppose necessity is the mother of invention, and he was forced to play Imaku, probably where if we had a full squad, he wouldn't. So well done to Imaku, and well done for the coach to keeping him still playing. And the other good thing about yesterday, having come from behind virtually twice, I think what belief this gives for the players. We've all said once Millwall go 1-0 down, their heads are down. But I think this will change them psychologically. Anyway, what a time to be a Wall supporter. Come on, you Lions.
Hello, Nick. Stuart Upson here. Sorry about the other two messed up there. Well, I'm at North Greenwich Station. My throat is croaky as hell. What a game. I mean, what a game. Well, I don't always like ringing in because it's... But, I mean, I can't not ring in after that game. That was absolutely insane. Of course, viewing it from my pivoted position in the Barry Kitchener upper, I thought 2-2. I've seen this before a million times. Bought the T-shirt, bought the DVD. We're gonna defend our 18-yard box for another 4 minutes. I can't stand it. So I went downstairs and watched the last few minutes on the television. And then, of course, we go and nick it. Right at the end, Kramer putting it in, forcing the air of the bloke, score the own goal. I mean, what an amazing guy. What an amazing player Kramer is. I mean, I think he should be captain, really. I mean, I know that's a massive shout, considering how long Cooper's been at the club and everything like that. But, I mean, that performance, I'm a true believer now. I've just been baptised in the waters of optimism. It's the first time we've come back from being behind to win a game. I think since Alex Neil's been in charge, I'm not sure, we might need to check that, but first time we come back to win a game. It's particularly the penalty, which was dodgy, didn't have their heads drop. And then he brought on Langstaff at the end, thinking, what are you doing? And of course, he's pushing for the winner, which is to push for the winner. It's amazing. That's what we're getting. I've said this in my points before when I rang you, is that we're going to lose some, but we're going to push each time to go for the win. And, with Harris, he would have brought on a couple of defensive players and we would have played out for a point there. That's what would have happened. We would have defended our 18-yard box for 4 minutes when we had Harris. And we don't know. We go for it. I know it's cost us the 3-0, a few spankings as well, but if you don't shoot, you don't try, really, do you? I know it's the quality of Aziz as well. I know I've rang you in and been a bit hard on Imaku over the time, but when you sit there and watch it, like you can watch it in real time, like what a Premier League player is and what a League One player is, putting the balls under. The guy tries. I know he tries. It's uncharitable in a day like today not to be too hard on him, but I think it's more to do with the fact that Aziz is so good. It's so good. It's unfair on Imaku because Aziz is a Premier League player. I think, and so is Kramer. But just absolutely over the moon, and they've been on a really good run. I really thought, we're not going to win this one, because they've been on such a good run, and it was great where they were just playing all that stupid passes outside the box, like playing it out from the back, and you just like, come on, push up on them. Oh, it's just great, Nick. Really, really great. So happy. Over the moon. Like I say, true believer now, baptised in the waters of optimism of South Bermondsey. Okay, mate. Lovely. Cheers, Nick. Love the show. Bye-bye. All the best.
Hello, Nick. Hello, listeners. Ben Anthony calling in after what's been quite a remarkable week for Millwall Football Club, I'd say. We are sitting third in the table, which is a very impressive achievement. And very nearly, we could have been second. So we are in the best position I remember us being in as a club for a very long time. And we have given ourselves a fantastic opportunity in the league this season. I say it's been a remarkable week because I would say on Wednesday we came up against the team bottom of the league on -4 points, and how often do we slip up over that giant banana skin of the team bottom of the league and lose 1-0? I felt, to be honest, it was almost nailed on to be a 1-0 loss on the night, and we went and soldiered through and won the game. And then yesterday, which was probably the most enjoyable game of football at the Den for many number of years, I thought it had a bit of everything. I thought it was absolutely excellent. The team put in a superb performance. The atmosphere was electric, and the quality of the chances that we didn't score, and of course the goals that we did score, were really, really high quality. We were taking shots from outside the box, which we don't always do. And I thought there was a real intent in our game to take the game to Southampton, who had a couple of decent wins recently. I think they scored 5 last weekend, so they're a formidable side to take on. And we looked very comfortably in competition with them. We did not in any way look like underdogs. So that was an impressive show. An awful lot of respect to a lot of the squad. Obviously, Caleb Taylor, an absolutely superb strike, goal of the season contender. Femi Aziz, shockingly, scoring again. Who saw that come in? And the superb last-ditch effort from Tristan Kramer to put the winner in. A really impressive day all round. I think on reflection, I'd probably say Kramer was the man of the match for me. But you could take your pick from Taylor. You could choose Denor, I thought Imaku and Aziz and even Danny Kelly. I thought there was some really superb performances out there. So well done to the boys. Well done to the fans, and what a brilliant way to wrap up the week, and we can move forward, looking forward to the future. All right, see you soon.
Euphoric after that performance. When was the last time we came from behind at the Den to win a game? A few years, I think. And was that the best game since Everton in the Cup? Now, before the game, I was more concerned with the performance than the result, but we got both. And we were set up perfectly with a high press in the first half. Our front four stopped them from coming out. And also credit to young Kelly in his first league start, who stepped out to close down their space at every opportunity. He gave us so much energy in midfield. And in transition, Imaku was always a threat, and we used the width of the pitch so well, attacking Southampton down both flanks. At half-time, I was thinking, can we keep up this intensity for another 45, At the second half, at what point was the ref trying to make with that penalty decision? Shirt pulling goes on all the time. And if you give a penalty for that, then you give one every time there's a corner. But what a reaction to go in a goal down. Femi, who else? Taylor, where did that come from? And Kramer, such a warrior. Casper was my man of the match. Crocombe again made some crucial saves, and Doughty, such quality crossing. And what's not to like about the subs and the coaching staff joining in with the celebrations and having a right old knees up? What a great team spirit we have in the camp, and that can go a long way when you have to compete with moneybags teams full of talented, so-called talented individuals. I'm going to Bristol next week for a very rare away game these days, and we go there with lots of confidence. Now, how's this for a stat? We're 14 points off relegation. Anyway, so proud of my team after that. And Nick, I'm really pleased with my Achtung Millwall podcast calendar. Nick, you are a smooth operator.
Nick, Bobby T. Achtung Millwall. What the fuck just happened at the Den? What did I fucking witness? Didn't even go. Just got out of Howard's now. Let me fucking tell you, mate. Callum Taylor or Camel Taylor, take a fucking bow. I said in my last video or podcast, you got to shoot on sight. What happens? Someone's had a fucking pop. Fucking hell, mate. And I wasn't even there today. And that's how why Millwall never say die. Never give up. Millwall till I die. There you go. At 2-1, we thought we're there, Taylor. I can't really comment on the game because I wasn't there. 2-2, and then the French idol, Kristen. I mean, isn't it ironic that two centre backs come up with a trumps for us, and our strikers are shy? I don't care, mate. I'm booming. I'm happy. Joint second playoffs. Playoffs? Are we going for automatic? Let's not get carried away. Bobby T, live at Howard's. Oh, that's made my fucking weekend, mate. 2 away games, back at Hull. I don't care. Right now, Millwall is hard now as fucking nails, mate. Didn't see the game, don't really care. Callum Taylor, man of the match, I can't really say, wasn't there. Bobby T signing off. Millwall till I die, no one likes us. Fuck them all. Hold on, I got to finish on Bobby T here live after Millwall. Now listen, I mean, to go 2-1 up with 7 minutes to go, not to see it out, and I didn't see that equaliser, that drama at the Den, you know, and going 1-0 down. But to have the balls and the passion, and I'm talking like I was there. Thank God I had a day off and I couldn't, well, I can't come all the Saturdays after Millwall, Bobby T! Millwall! Oh, I'm fucking buzzing. Anyway, didn't see the game. I'm going to go home. Alex on the pitch and all that. He's got no hair. We don't fucking care. On to Bristol and Derby now. Won't be going. But anyway, proud Millwall fan. Bobby T signing off. Love you all. Bye for now, Bobby T.
Well, goodness gracious me. What a performance from Millwall against a very good and well-supported Southampton side who were on a fine run of form. However, Millwall were in determined mood and would not lie down and roll over as they might have done in the past. Harshly given a penalty against them, they went 1-0 down. Then we decided to tear into Southampton, and we literally tore into Southampton. A fantastic goal from Aziz, an unbelievable goal from Caleb Taylor, and then Southampton scored again. So they equalised. How annoying are this team? They're obviously a very good side, and they came forward at us and they had a few chances. However, we dealt with most of it because our players were playing above and beyond the call of duty. And right at the end, 7 minutes of added time, and with barely a minute to go, Tristan Kramer come up, stumbled through a tackle, and then just shot at goal, and blow me down, it's gone in. Cue absolutely mental and wild and prolonged celebrations at the Den, which included Alex Neil running 20 yards down the touchline to join in.
Absolutely brilliant. A well-deserved victory. Great 3 points. We go onwards and upwards. Come on, you Lions.
This episode is presented by State Farm. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing the protection of an offensive guard on the football field, but getting an elementary school crossing guard. Sure, they're both guards, but you can only trust one to keep your quarterback safe when the game is on the line. So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Good morning, Crust. It's a great day to be a bread brother.
Ugh, mornings are not my jam. Or jelly.
Oh, come on. Stop loafing around.
I just woke up feeling hollow inside.
Just grab one of the new Morning Uncrustables sandwiches, like Bright-Eyed Berry or Up and Apple, filled with 12 grams of protein and tons of deliciousness. Crust, what are you eating?
It's just granola, not even yogurt.
No crust, no fuss. Uncrust your mornings.
I had that dream again. My small business needs to hire, but I don't use LinkedIn, and I hire wrong. So our orders get all backed up. We're drowning in paperwork. Then actually drowning. Carol is fighting off sharks with a stapler, and pirates are pillaging the office copier, and then I wake up.
Don't let hiring nightmares ruin your dreams. LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant goes beyond the resume, using unique insights to deliver a smarter shortlist. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/quality. Start hiring today with LinkedIn.
Good news, dear listeners. The 2026 Achtung Millwall calendar is now available for £10 plus postage. All profits will support the fantastic Lions Food Hub. To pick up your copy, either direct message us on X at Achtung Millwall or email us at achtungmillwall@gmail.com. Come on, you Lions.
All right, Nick, it's Lawrence Beanie here, calling in after Millwall 3, Southampton 2. Kind of walking back from the game today, one of my first thoughts was, you know, if you're like a glory hunter, you support like an elite team like Manchester City or Real Madrid, like, how can you like possibly, but you know, maybe some of those old school City supporters who saw Aguero win the title for them. But how can you possibly relate to that feeling of elation of a 90th minute winner in a game that looked like you'd lose, but you very much deserve to win? I mean, you know, fans who have sat there in a cold pouring rain week after week after week and seen Dower 0-0 or see us get tonked 4-0, or, you know, just the sort of the crushing inevitability of disappointment. Like, how does anything really come close as a Football League fan, as a Millwall fan? You know, that feeling of all your expectations being completely, I don't know, just being completely shattered, you know? Not a religious person, but it sort of does make you think maybe there's some sort of higher power that's smiling on you. I mean, today was just, I think, one of the best football games I've ever been to as a Millwall fan. And, you know, I've been going for nearly 30 years. I mean, can't really think of too many, especially like non-playoff, non-cup games where I've come away feeling giddy like a kid, you know, hugging my dad, hugging strangers. There aren't many feelings, you know, apart from sort of like, you know, births of kids and things like that, weddings. There aren't really many feelings that can match that. Actually, what it really reminded me of was a game in 1999 on New Year's Eve where Dave Livermore scored, basically with the last touch of the game. The goal that saw us win 3-2 after being 2-1 down going to injury time. That was a very young side back then. Got a very young side now. I was 10 years old when that happened, and it was one of those sort of like really one of those seminal moments as a football supporter, where you look back and think, yeah, that's one of the games that really gave me the bug. You know, really. And there've been other ones like the Wembley or Screens final against Wigan, the 2-0 against Stoke. But yeah, I mean, I think there'll be kids here today who will remember that game for a long, long, long time. And we'll look at Femi Aziz and Tristan Kramer in the same way that I looked at Matt Lawrence and Paul Eiffel, you know. It's, wonderful day for the club. I mean, I could talk all day about how great certain players were, but I just feel like today it sort of transcends that a bit. It was just such a treat, I think, for everyone who's, you know, suffered disappointment over the years with this club, who has put up with some really, really dour football at times. Just big up Millwall today. Big up the players, seeing them all celebrate at the end, seeing how much it meant to everyone, including Alex Neil, who I think got booked for his celebration. Just tremendous. Just love this fucking club. All right, cheers, Nick. Take care.
Morning, Nick. David Lieder-Kramer here on a lovely Sunday morning after a fantastic win against Southampton. I was fortunate enough to go again with my grandson, and this time also with my son, who rarely comes, but we made an effort today or yesterday, and what a game. It was thoroughly entertaining. I just can't remember a game that I've enjoyed more. It was just incredible, and I'm sure everybody who's contributing to the voicemails said exactly the same. I'm going to steal a line from Chris Chapman, who I thought made a very good post-match analysis yesterday, and that was that when we were at 2-2, Gary Rowett and Neil Harris, and I think they were both very good managers for us, would definitely have gone for the draw. And I think Alex Neil, in the substitutions he made, really wanted to go for the win. And I think that was so refreshing and so different. So again, I'm not knocking Rowett or Harris, who did very well for us at a time when we needed them. But I think Alex Neil, who obviously has better players at his disposal, was able to put on players who could really change the game. I thought that the pass from Langstaff through to Ballo was very good. And of course, Tristan Kramer looked absolutely dead on his feet, actually, as he was lumbering towards the far post. He took the ball very well, and it wasn't an easy chance, actually. It was a very well taken goal, but everything about the day was just amazing, really. Tremendous atmosphere, both sets of fans really going for it. Great credit to the Championship and, of course, to Millwall and our crowd. Hard to pick out any player who I think didn't perform well. I think RBW had a quieter game, but even he showed some good touches from time to time. Obviously, standout players were Kramer and, in particular, Denor, who was immense and I think was my man of the match. Ivanovic tried very hard, put a really good shift in, and I think he's looking a better player, so hopefully that will stand us in good stead. As for Kelly, very good debut, looked assured, occasionally didn't do the right thing, but my goodness me, I was glad to see him play well. And Danny McNamara, played left back when he's really a right back, but as always gives 100% for the team, and we needed a really good defensive play. Yes, occasionally in the first half he wasn't quite, he made a couple of passes that weren't quite right, but he never gives up, and what passion, tremendous. So what a fantastic day. It's the sort of day that, you really restores your faith in football, makes you want to go again, and makes you realise how wonderful it is when Millwall play well and how great it makes you feel. It's ridiculous, really. After all, it's a game of football, but it has a disproportionate effect on me, certainly, and I'm sure most of your other contributors. Anyway, I hope everyone has a great weekend, and onwards and upwards. Bristol City is going to be a tough game, no question about that. I think they're in good form. Should again be a cracking atmosphere, but with our players slowly coming back, hopefully we'll get more minutes out of Doughty and Aziz, who looked, I thought, he did very well actually, Aziz, today. Not strange enough, one of his best games, but what a great goal! And when he's doing that kind of thing, you can't knock him at all. Anyway, as I say, Bristol City next week, tough game, and come on, you Lions!
Hi Nick, hi listeners, John Rankin here, and that's got to be one of the best performances I've seen. Absolutely unbelievable game today. I'm sure you got lots of voicemails, so I won't take up too much time, but the scene when Caleb Taylor's goal went in, I mean, what do they say now? Limbs and scenes, you know, it was just crazy. I mean, the cold blow lane end just went into absolute pandemonium. You know, there were people hugging each other who very rarely display. Don't know people from Adam really, and we're jumping up and down and patting each other on the back and just going bonkers, you know, standing up on a stanchion. Just a complete release of emotion. And I felt so good for Caleb Taylor. I think when he scored that worldie of a goal with his right peg, I think he just turned round and sort of stood still and held his hands up. I don't think he really believed what had happened. And he came running down, you know, and Alex Neil run along the touchline, Jose Mourinho style. And it was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely gutting when Southampton went and nicked that equaliser. But we were just thrown into absolute raptures again when Kramer scored the late winner in the 97th minute. Just what a fantastic performance. How can we go from what I witnessed at Birmingham, St Andrews, you know, and Portsmouth, 2 away games that we went to, how can we turn it round and play like that? Well, I was watching the game, obviously, with a view to seeing how Alex Neil set us up, and he used what I think is the best format now for our sort of play and in the Championship, which is the 4 at the back with the 2 centre-backs and the 2 full-backs, 2 holding midfielders, and then your number 10, your 2 wingers, and your solitary front man. And I think that is the ideal setup because it adds solidity in defence and it allows you to attack as well, you know, with a bit of certainty. And I know it's good to play like a 5 and a 2 and all this kind of stuff and different formations, but I think that's just such a reliable format, and that's how he set us up. And it proved really well. I could see what Southampton were doing. They were playing the ball not even out from the back. They were trying to lure us into a very, very high press in the hope that it would free up space in the midfield, but we weren't taking the bait. You know, we were pressing in a nice shape, and they got through us a few times, but not a lot. I want to say how well Danny Mack played first half. I was worried about Tom Fellows, absolutely roasting him, but he didn't. Danny Mack played ever so well. Towards the end of the first half, he made a couple of errors, and it was basically he tried to force the ball a little bit when he was running out of defence and he got out of position. But apart from that, he played really well. He looked after that Tom Fellows and got him to draw a yellow card as well, which was good. So really well played to our defenders. I'm so pleased with Caleb Taylor scoring that goal. That would have done his confidence no end of favours. I thought Jake Cooper was very unlucky to give that a very, very soft penalty away. You know, if he gets a penalty given against him for that, when I've seen him, as we all have, being wrestled to the ground, you know, when he's attacking corners and set pieces, there's, I thought, very questionable refereeing, to be honest, on that point. The holding 2 played very well. I thought Dan Kelly had a great game, to be honest with you. I was watching him. He's a big guy and he was making his presence felt. He put in a couple of really strong tackles. Casper Denor played ever so well. I watched him commit a couple of fouls, but without picking up a yellow card, which is the way to do it, in their half. You know, superb holding midfield play there. He was coming up, putting his shoulder and putting his knee into the players, dropping a couple of free kicks, but not getting a yellow card. That's just the way to do it. Making your presence felt, giving away tactical free kicks in non-dangerous areas. Brilliant, you know. Couldn't ask for more. I thought Reece Bangor and Williams showed a lot of composure on the ball, didn't lose the ball, you know, played really well. And obviously Aziz, well, what can you say about Femi Aziz? And I thought Ballo played well as, you know, on the left-hand side as opposed to the right. Ivanovic worked hard. He's a work in progress. He had a couple of chances, but he put his work rate in. And, I think everyone played well. What a great team performance. The subs, when they came on, did well. And it was just a tremendous spectacle at the Den. I mean, that repays us for all those shitty performances and those long-ass journeys in the pouring of rain, and the miles we put in and the money we spend and the heartache we have. It's all repaid for moments like that. Absolutely brilliant. I'll always remember that game, as I'm sure my son will, as that'll go down in history as one of the greats. It really will. Absolutely fantastic. Come on, you Lions.
Hello, Nick. Matt Richards. Driving back from that game. Christ almighty. Fucking hell, what a game. What a game. Can someone check on Trevor Lee, Terry Erlock and Dennis Burnett, please? Make sure they're okay. Christ almighty. Saw them come on the pitch at half-time. Hope their tickers can put up with a match like that. Wow. Thoroughly deserved. If we'd ended up drawing that game, it would have been a travesty. I just thought we played so well. It's just fast-flowing, attacking football from the off, really. Well, I think actually from the off, if I remember rightly, I think Southampton had the ball for about 3 or 4 minutes, and we don't think we touched it, and they had a chance. And you kind of thought, oh bloody hell, is this going to be the afternoon now? But they didn't really have much. I remember Crocombe. Shout out to Crocombe. He made a good save in the first half when he stood up. I think Caleb Taylor put the player off, and Crocombe made a save. But they didn't really trouble us much, and it was all Millwall. Idemo had a chance. I'm never going to remember all the chances. He had another shot. Ivanovic got onto one. It was just all Millwall, really. And first half after that, you just thought, well, can we play as well? Can we keep up the intensity? Will Southampton come back? And we started the second half really well as well. And again, it just didn't. The ball just didn't seem to be falling for us. I thought we were some brilliant crossing, some great. We often moan about our crossing, but I thought today our crossing was really good, and we just wasn't dropping. And then they got that penalty from nowhere. I didn't see it at first from block 4, but I think I saw a bit of a replay on the big screen later. I think maybe Cooper gave him a bit of a target. It looked soft, but right in front of the referee, and the referee gave it, and that was a sucker punch. But I mean, Femi Aziz is brilliant. He just drilled it into the corner. Superb equaliser. And it's just like Caleb Taylor. I mean, where the hell did that come from? It was just amazing. He just hit it and just curled it beautiful. And I loved, and it happened at the end of the game as well. I loved all of the other players on the bench running down to the corner to celebrate. It shows you what a strong squad we've got. They're so together. They're in it together, playing as a team, as a squad. And I think somebody said that Alex Neil got booked or something for celebrating as well. Oh bloody! I think if I'd been on the low tier, I'd been down there as well. But what a goal! It was sucker punch for them to equalise again against the run of play. Crocombe made a good save and buried it. Couldn't really see exactly what happened from where I was, but just at the end. I mean, even just before that, Cooper, there was a header which was just booted off the line. Just what a game! I mean, it's just that's what football's all about, isn't it? And they're the brilliant days, evenings under the floodlights at the Den we want to see, and we're up to third. Mental, absolutely mental, but superb, and what a day. So yeah, cheers, mate. Brilliant, 3 points. Bristol City next, but who the fuck cares? What a game. Cheers. Take care, mate. Come on, you Lions.
Thanks for listening to this edition of Achtung Millwall. If you're tuning in via Spotify or YouTube, please feel free to comment, like or subscribe as you see fit. God bless. Until the next show then, it's bye for now.
want to watch?
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.